We're
Here
back.
We are
Live at 5.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. So excited to be able to join you at the Live at 5 on Friday.
Yep.
With Dean and Kate, or Kate and Dean. I like it better that way, actually. Kate and Dean.
Kate and Dean.
So excited, so grateful to be able to have so many people watching, so many people tuning in, so much great feedback that we're getting. It's just been phenomenal.
Yep, you guys are our favorite.
Yeah.
We just love it.
There you go. It's been great. It's been great. So those of you that are just joining us for the first time, my name's Dean Nixon.
I'm Kate Semmens.
And we are with TurningLeaf Wellness Center. We have a flickering light today. It's like
we're having a party
crazy.
on our side of the...
Yes. So we're coming to you live from TurningLeaf Wellness Center. And today we're excited because today we're going to be talking about parenting.
Parenting. Yep, we had a couple of different questions come in about parenting. But by the way, guess what? We're human. Go figure. And we're constantly learning.
Yes.
And so I just had another thing come to us. We're also located in St. George, Utah.
Oh,
that's
there you
where
go.
We're coming at you from. TurningLeaf Wellness Center in St. George, Utah. So
yes, that's a good point. We've never introduced where we're from, and so it's exciting. We're great.
That is Mountain Standard Time. We got that question as well.
Yes, last time. What time is it at? And so now you know.
Yep. So we love all the support that we're getting from all over the country, and hopefully we can push it out globally. That would be pretty rad, but we just love it. So thank you for asking, what's the time zone? Where are you guys at? All those kinds of things. So it helps us become better. And we're all about that. It's all about growth.
All about growth. So that's our motto.
That's our motto. So thanks for joining us today. Once again, I'm Kate Semmens.
Dean Nixon.
Yep, and we're with TurningLeaf Wellness Center. So our questions today have to do with parenting, which is rad because in a couple weeks we have a value-based parenting workshop that we'll be doing here at the TurningLeaf Wellness Center in St. George, Utah. But the couple questions came in and they kind of piggyback each other. So I just get to decide. So we're going to start with the younger question.
Okay.
Cool. So the question that we got was, when you learn a different approach to parenting, especially like our value-based parenting that Dean presents and that we like to push out to the world here from TurningLeaf Wellness Center, when you have little ones, so like toddlers, like tiny ones, right? Who may not be able to like comprehend all of the things that you're trying to do, right? How do you begin practicing parenting in a value-based way when they really can't understand value yet?
Yes. The best thing to do and the first thing to do is explain what value-based parenting is. And so value-based parenting is a model that we've developed. So Dr. Richard Moody and myself here at TurningLeaf have been in the industry. For me, it's been 29 years in the industry and specifically geared towards and working with teens and families, but not just teens and families. When I say that, people are always like, oh, so do you work with adults? Yes.
Yes.
Because adults are nothing but grown-up teenagers. And that's just how we are. And so, but we've developed a program called value-based parenting. And value-based parenting is based upon a couple principles. And the first is that we need to learn to include the children in the solution. And some of the old standard parenting models are very us versus them, the parent versus the child, the system versus what they want. And so a lot of these systems are very behavioral modification oriented, where it's like, well, I'm going to modify their behavior through a system of conditioning, so to speak. Very, very old school. Give you, well, okay, you can have a consequence of sitting in your room for 30 minutes, or you can do 300 push-ups. It's your choice. You can choose. And it's an old model because what happens is the child learns just to jump through hoops to get what they want. They don't really understand, well, why is that behavior not okay? How do I want to move myself forward? And why is it unhealthy other than mom and dad told me so? So what the value-based parenting model does, bump the table there.
Ooh.
What value-based parenting does is it empowers the child. It gives them a voice. But what we do is we tap into the child's core values, and we help them learn through their value system. And when they're out of alignment with their value system, then we help them. And so when the question comes in, okay, you've got a little child, very young. So this is an individual that has participated in our workshops.
Right.
You know, how do we do that when I've got a toddler? How do I help empower them to see the value or understand why they're doing what they're doing?
Right. And I see, like, too, being on the parent side of things, like even just wanting to just make it be how their life is their whole life, right? Like there's a ton of value in that. So to be able to start practicing that and getting used to that, so that it's just the nature and the culture of their family.
Yes.
So to be able to do that when they're young, but I love that you're going to address it right now.
Yes. And that's, it is. It's the culture. And that's really what it is first as a parent. So how do I do this? The first thing is the energy that I'm carrying. You know, a lot of times as parents, we're responding with a fear-based energy. We have a lot of fear. It's either fear of, you know, them misbehaving, or maybe we have the fear of not doing it right as parents. I see a lot of parents do that, where it's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm afraid people will figure it out. Somebody's going to figure it out.
I.e. my kids.
Yeah. And then, mom, right? Call me and tell me, you know, grandma intervening. Yeah. But then also doing it wrong and messing up my kids and things of that nature. And so a lot of times there's this fear-based energy. So first thing we do is we check our energy. We make sure we're in a good value-based place of, hey, I'm doing the best I can. As you said at the very beginning, we're all human. And I think a lot of times as parents, we don't recognize that it's okay for us to make mistakes, because we can always rectify those mistakes. But where we default, where the biggest mistake we make as parents is we abdicate, or we give up our role as a parent and we give it over to somebody else because we think they know better than we do. Does that make sense? And so all of a sudden we're like, well, they must know better than we do. What do we do? How do we do this? Well, you're their parent. You are the best source of information for them. So if you've got a toddler, 1-year-old or 2-year-old, how do you instill the value is if you're taking something away. For example, they start to grab, they go over to the bookshelf. Now they're walking. Oh, that's a fun time. It's the cutest time.
So cute.
But the problem is their hands go everywhere and they grab everything.
Yeah.
So let's say they're going over to the bookshelf where some very valuable pictures are, and they go to grab them. Well, we don't want to run in. A lot of parents are like, well, I don't want to tell my child no. Well, we don't have to run over and say, no, you can't touch that. We can run over and we can intervene, and we can help the child, take the child, pull the picture out of their hand, and then we can sit in front of the picture. We can look at the picture and with holding the child's hands, explaining, this is a picture. It's very important. Now, let me continue. It's very important. It's a special picture, so we're not going to touch it. We're going to be very safe around it. Now, we may think to ourselves, it's a 1-year-old. They're not going to understand. They do.
Okay.
And here's my case in point. A lot of you out there that speak a foreign language, right? I don't know if you speak some, un poquito, right? Un poquito. For some of you, you have learned to speak Spanish, for example. For me, when I was learning Spanish, I understood Spanish before I could speak Spanish. And children are the same way. They understand before they can speak. And one of the greatest examples is this new kind of age, this new wave coming across where we're teaching children sign language. Yeah. So we'll teach them, more, or, we'll teach them, please, and we'll teach them these signs. Well, if they can learn to sign, they're understanding what you're saying. Does that make sense? Makes a ton of sense. A lot of times parents are like, well, God, I'm talking to them and they're not going to understand me. No, they do. They understand very, very well. And sometimes it's not the words, but it's the energy that you're saying them with. And it's the rhythm of and cadence of your voice. And so they're taking all of this stuff in. So when you're sitting in front of the picture and you're articulating and you're saying, okay, you know, this is a special picture, and you're holding their hands like, we're not going to touch it, and it just stays right there, and you're giving that nice energy, but you're not touching it, you're leaving it there. Talk for a moment and then move the child over to something new and engage them into something new. And that energy, they'll understand it. They pick it up. They go, okay, I get that this is not okay. Now, they're one.
Right.
You're going to do it about 500 more times. That's the reality. You're going to keep doing it for 500 more times. And that's just the way that it is. And so you've got to be patient with yourself. You got to be patient with the child. But over time, they start to trust that voice, because the voice that you're speaking with matches the energy that you're radiating.
I love that.
Now, this is critical in parenting. And with the behavioral modification program, the energy is very fear-based, because it's all about punishment and takeaway.
Right.
And that creates this fear energy in the parent. The child feels the energy of the parent. And so then the child's not really absorbing it as deeply as they just know this is wrong, this is bad. It's not, oh, this is special, this is important. So when our energy is matching our words, then the child is sensing that, picking up and feeling it. And over time, they're going to be more trusting when a parent is interacting that, okay, this is true. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of the best explanation I can give. We do always want to make sure that we're verbalizing, talking, and empowering. As they get older, they're going to start to share back. And that's when we can get into those other pieces.
That's awesome. I loved all of that.
Oh, good.
So let's see, we got time. Our next question then that piggybacked off of that was a little bit different, obviously. So let's imagine then that we have already got a family system started, right?
Right.
We've got like maybe a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, all those things right through there. And then you learn this different way to parent.
Right.
So now you're going to change up your culture, right? Like you're going to shake it up.
Right.
How do you do that?
Well,
effectively. Smoothly.
The first thing, I love it, because it's one of my favorite questions, because as you know, every time I present a workshop, this is one of the questions that always pops up. It's like, well, okay, if I'm taking this in, how do I get the kids to want to be a part of it? And there's two reasons why. The first thing is we have got to be consistent with our systems. So a lot of times parents will get a new system and they'll start to integrate or implement that system, but because it's not a natural flowing system with our lifestyle, we do it for how long?
Yeah.
Right? And you work with these kids too, and you work with their parents. How long do they stick with the system, would you say? On average.
On average.
Nobody's going to hunt
really
you down and hold you to it.
Probably like, I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
And then they give up.
Then they fall back into their old patterns.
Right?
Right.
And that's one of the biggest challenges. So consistency, that child needs to see mom and dad are consistently doing this new model, this new program. Instead, what happens is it's like, oh, okay, here's the new system. Let's see how long this one lasts till we blow it up, right? It's like when a new substitute shows up at school. You know, you walk in, you see the sub, you're like, challenge accepted, right? You're stoked. And so it's like that with kids. At first, it's like, okay, we'll see how long this goes. The second reason why the kids will move into this value-based system better is because the value-based model adapts to your life and your lifestyle. It doesn't make you change who you are as a family. It doesn't make it change your system as a family. As in fact, what it does is it enhances your family's belief system. It enhances your family's lifestyle. So what the kids start to see is my life can get better. And they start to see I have a voice. Mom and dad are including me in the solution. So over time, they start to see, number one, mom and dad are consistent with this system. And number two, when I'm saying something, it's being heard. And maybe it may not always be responded to, because if it's not, you know, in alignment with the value system, you're not going to just do it because the kid said so.
Right.
But if it is in alignment with the value system, then the kids are going, okay, my voice is heard here.
Yeah.
I'm important. My
matter.
parents, I matter. And so they start to buy in to what's going on.
Yeah. So is that the key then, is to just be consistent?
Consistency is apparent, consistent and persistent.
Mm.
You know, consistent and persistent. And I think two of the flaws that, two of the pitfalls, I should say, that we struggle with as parents is, number one, we're too busy. And parenting takes time. It takes a lot of time. And so we have to remember that my priority is being a parent. It's more important than anything else other than putting food on my child's table. So I have to allocate time for that. And I see parents get caught up in, okay, well, I've got to get him in dance. I've got to get him in soccer. We've got to get Billy over to Scouts. And we get so busy running everybody everywhere that we're like, well, I don't have time to deal with this. I don't have time to really invest in helping this child grow or learn a new system or become grounded. It's more of this kind of a McDonald's parenting let's get the quick in. What's a quick answer? Let's just use this energy of, okay, well, you're going to get a spanking, or okay, you're going to go to your room, or okay, I'm going to take away your phone, or whatever it is, this quick,
it's reactive,
fast food, want it now system, rather than recognizing, no, number one, I need to build the relationship with the child. Number two, I need to include them in the solutions. And number three, I need to empower them with, hey, feels good. This is what you believe. This is what you want to create. And so when we're going too fast, that's one of our big pitfalls as a parent. And then being consistent and persistent is our other pitfall. It's like, I'm so tired. Yeah. I've already had a long day. It's just been too much. And that would be the second piece.
Yeah, that's all really good. So we just came at you with a lot.
Yes. This is my jam. This is my jam. I love this topic.
So if you want to see him go full on jam session with this topic, once again, our value-based parenting workshop is on the 29th of
29th. I have to look at the calendar over there.
Me too. So just a couple weeks out with it. And
here's Kate's big news.
Big news. We're going to do another giveaway.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to give away another seat. A seat
in the workshop, a free seat. The value's $78.
Right. And here's another really awesome piece.
Do I get this one?
You get this one.
All right. So we've been talking, and we love Jimmy John's. Thank you. We usually, because lunch is provided, and usually it's been Jimmy John's, but
because some of the people around here might be a little bit addicted.
I don't know who she's talking about.
To Jimmy John's.
I don't know who she's talking about. I love Jimmy John's. There you go. Free ad.
Free advertising.
But we have been able to create a relationship with a local company here, which we love, and is such great food. It's called the Twisted Noodle. And Cam over at Twisted Noodle, super amazing food, super tasty. It tastes so good, very flavorful.
So fresh.
It's
and just
everything's
feels good for you.
Very fresh, and it's healthy.
Yes.
To find that is hard, especially in St. George, because it seems like we like microwave food a lot here.
We love burgers and we love ice cream.
Yes, and those are good things. But Cam and we are going to have Twisted Noodle for lunch.
Yeah.
On this parenting workshop. So those of you coming to the parenting workshop, not only will you get the full value-based program, you'll get Twisted Noodle for lunch. So
you're going to see Dean in his total element, working his jam, and get free Twisted Noodle.
What could be better?
I will be there.
It got better. It just got better.
Could there be more?
Okay, yeah, we better stop. We'll explode. So the giveaway is going to be like last time. So like and share the video on Facebook, and we will be able to enter your name for those that like and share. Also, we have to tell you, please, when you like and share it, make it public. We've done very well at finding, but it makes it easier on us in finding you. We can see that you shared it, but if you don't make it public, then if we're not friends with you, for example, then we can't
We have a hard
see.
time.
We have a hard time getting your name and putting it in the drawing. So like and share, make it a public share, and you can just do it for that one time. And then on Instagram, after this is over, we're going to be posting a value-based parenting picture
on Instagram.
And that one, tag a friend or tag somebody, and for every time you tag and every time you share, you get to put your name in. So do it as many times as you want, and you get as many options. So
it's limitless.
There
We
you
will
go.
count them all. I promise.
I
I want to give you your best shot.
I hope we haven't opened a door that we regret. So, but it's been great. Thank you for those of you that sent the questions in today.
Yes.
And we got the weekend. We got the weekend to share and talk about it. Thank you for making our videos so big. Those of you watching, please like and share them. Even if you don't want the seat, help us get the word out.
So we'll be doing that drawing in our live on
Monday Night Live.
Yes. So, so join us there to see
7:30.
live if you win, right at 7:30.
After, shameless plug for
our parent support group. Nope. Family support group. We've been talking about parenting tonight.
Yes. Our free family support group here at the TurningLeaf Wellness Center in St. George, Utah. Those of you that may be looking for other resources for that, please contact us. We have talked about even at some point doing some other options as far as videos, etc. So make sure that you're out there. Those of you that are in St. George, come on in. 6 to 7:30 at TurningLeaf Wellness Center. Thank you all for watching.
Yep. Have a wonderful weekend.
And thanks, Kate, for being great.
Thank you, Dean.
We'll see you all
Bye, guys.
Monday.